Hey readers, as we read our story today called The Smoky Night, your thinking might change. So do that with me. Touch your brain. This is your thinking. This is where all your background knowledge is going to come to the front of your brain. So say thinking, thinking, yeah. And then get your fingers ready. We're going to change it. Yeah, so if your thinking changes while we're reading, I want you to be able to share that either with me or with the person that you're sitting next to, because that's our reading job today, is to have our thinking, show me, change. And so I'm going to look at the front cover and let it send messages up my arm to my brain to tell me what the story is going to be about. And right now, the title's called Smoky Night. So I'm thinking the main characters are going to be this little boy and this cat. And then they're going to be either maybe they see a fire in their neighborhood, or I'm thinking maybe we're going to see firefighters. But the illustrator is David Diaz and the author is Eve Bunting. So while we read, your thinking might change. Very good. Yeah. And that's great because then that means that your ideas are growing. Smoky Night. So first look at the picture, then I'll read. Mama and I stand well back from our window looking down. I'm holding Jasmine, my cat. We don't have our lights on though. It's almost dark. People are rioting in the street below. And so rioting, I'm not sure you guys can see the picture. Okay, so rioting means that it would be a crowd of people and they would be very angry and frustrated about something. And rioting sometimes looks like yelling, it sometimes looks like a march, but often things get damaged during a riot. Mama explains about rioting. It can happen when people get angry. They want to smash and destroy. They don't care anymore what's right and what's wrong. Below us, they are smashing everything. Windows, cars, street lights. They look angry, but they look happy too. I whisper. After a while, it's like a game, Mama says. Two boys are carrying a TV from Morton's Appliances. It's hard for them because the TV is so heavy. Are they stealing it? I ask. Mama nods. So already my thinking has changed. What has your thinking changed into? How has it changed? Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same. I used to think that this was going to be a story maybe about firefighters, but now I'm learning that the fire may have started from a riot. Someone breaks the window of fashion shoes. Two women and a man climb in through the broken glass. They toss out shoes like they're throwing footballs. I've never heard anybody laugh the way they're laughing. Smoke drifts light as fog. I see the distant flicker of flames. Using what we already know from our background knowledge and the story, how do we think these characters might feel? Yeah, scared, devastated to see their neighborhood destroyed. Maybe curious why people are doing this. Across the street from us, people are dragging cartons of cereal and sacks of rice from Kim's Market. My mama and I don't go in Kim's Market, even though it's close. Mama says it's better if we buy from our own people. Mrs. Kim's cat and my cat fight all the time, and Mrs. Kim yells at Jasmine in words I can't even understand. She's yelling the same kind of words now at the people who are stealing her stuff. They pay her no attention. I move behind Mama. Will they come here? There's nothing for them here, Daniel. See, they finished with our street. They're moving on. Our street is emptying. One last man is staggering under piles of clothes he's taken from the dry cleaners. The plastic bags are still over them. Yeah, so we can tell that Daniel was feeling worried. He didn't want him and his family to get hurt. We'll sleep together tonight, Mama tells me. She makes me wash my face and brush my teeth. I'm to take off my shoes, but leave on my clothes. She puts me next to the wall. I hold Jasmine. I can't sleep, I say. Shh, Mama whispers. Close your eyes. I do. I guess I fall asleep. Next thing I know, Mama is shaking me. I bet that you kept the skill of predicting in your brain, and you were making predictions even though we weren't talking about it. Did you predict that the riot would end up getting to their house? If you did, it looks like you're right because I can see flames on the illustration. Next thing I know, Mama is shaking me. Quick, Daniel, get up. There's a terrible smell of smoke. Someone's pounding on our apartment door. Fire! Fire! I'm suddenly awake. Where's Jasmine? I run to the closet. Mama's screaming at me. We can't wait. Jasmine's gone. Put on your shoes. Hurry. We rush down the stairs. Others crowd around us. The smoke makes me cough. Mr. Ramirez is in front of us carrying Lisa and the baby, who are both howling. Those people are hooligans, he shouts. He shouts it over his shoulder. Hooligans! Mrs. Ramirez is ahead of him. She's holding the cage with Loco, their parrot. Loco's squawking something awful. Did you see Jasmine, Mr. Ramirez? I shout. He shakes his head, but I don't think he even hears me. Don't touch the railing, he warns. It's hot. Outside, the sky is hazy orange. Flames pounce up the side of our building. 3 fire engines scream to a stop. Firefighters jump out, running, pulling hoses. I see our window where Mama and I had stood. The fire hasn't reached it yet. Is everybody out? One firefighter yells. Far as we know, another says. Did you see a cat? I ask him. She's yellow. Maybe she's still in there. He glances down. Probably not, son. Cats are plenty smart. She'll be long gone. And so here's what I'm thinking so far. The firefighters that I thought at first the story was going to be about, they're a key detail in the story, right? It's not the main part of the story, but the firefighters do show up to help. So now that my thinking's changed, I'm thinking at the end of the story, hopefully they're going to find the cat. And maybe they're going to be able to talk to Miss Kim or about how her store got ruined. Or maybe they're even going to get to talk to the people who are rioting and see what's wrong. A lady comes up to us. There's a shelter you can come to, she says. Everyone follow me. I'm crying because I'm not sure Jasmine is all that smart. What if she's still inside? Oh, you would be so worried and anxious if something that you cared about was about to get hurt. Some of the streetlights have been smashed. We walk along the sidewalk, which sparkles with broken glass. There are empty cartons everywhere. A street sign lies crumbled in the gutter. I grab hold of Mama because I think I see a dead man with no arms, lying there too. But it's just one of those plastic people that show off clothes in department stores. The lady looks back at Miss Kim, who is trailing along behind us. Are you all right? She calls. Miss Kim nods. We're almost at the shelter, the lady tells her. The shelter is in a church hall. There are cots to sleep on and a table with hot drinks. 2 men are making sandwiches. I've never seen a bigger jar of mayo. We see people from our building. They're talking about who did this. What will happen to us? It's a sad, sad night, Miss Jackson says. I ask him about Jasmine. Mr. Jackson said it's a sad, sad night. I ask him about Jasmine. He says he's pretty sure he saw her. She got out, Daniel. He tells me, I hope he's not just trying to make me feel better. Did you see my cat? Mrs. Kim asks. He is orange. He is the color of carrots, I say, and I almost add, he's fat and mean. But I don't. A girl gives me a mug of hot chocolate. I wish it had more sugar. When I finish drinking it, Mama says I should lie down. She's always making me lie down. So now we know that Miss Kim and Daniel are both missing their cats. And I didn't realize that we were going to learn more about Miss Kim's cat until this page. People keep coming. Some of them are crying. One woman screams and screams. I hide under my blanket. Then Mama says, Daniel, look. Who do you think it is? Keep that in your brain. And there is the firefighter who was at our building. He is standing in the open door with the smoky night behind him, and I see that he's carrying a cat under each arm. That was how Mr. Ramirez carried Lisa and the baby. The cats are howling too. Jasmine, the blanket's caught on my foot and I'm trailing it. Oh, thank you for finding her. The other cat is mine. Mrs. Kim takes her big, fat, mean old orange cat and holds him close. I'm kissing Jasmine. She smells of smoke. I'm remembering that Daniel said the cats fight a lot. Where was she? I asked the firefighter. The two of them were under the stairs, yowling and screeching, he says. He takes a mug of hot chocolate. I like him so much. I wish I had a whole barrel of sugar for his drink. The cats were together? Mrs. Kim asks. The firefighter nods. They were so scared. They were holding paws. I grin. No, they weren't. What about our building? Mr. Ramirez asked. The fire is out. You'll be able to go back in a day or two. A woman puts down a dish of milk. Here, kitty, kitty. Jasmine jumps out of my arms and Mrs. Kim puts her carrot-colored cat down too. The cats drink from the same dish. Milk isn't that good for cats. But I don't say that either. Look at that. Mama is all amazed. I thought those two didn't like each other. They probably didn't know each other before, I explain. And now they do. Everyone looks at me and it's suddenly very quiet. Did I say something wrong? I whisper to Mama. No, Daniel. Mama's tugging at her fingers the way she does when she's nervous. My name is Gina, she tells Mrs. Kim. Perhaps when things settle down, you and your cat will come over and share a dish of milk with us. I think that's pretty funny, but nobody laughs. Mrs. Kim picks up her cat and strokes him. She's staring at the wall. Maybe she's not going to say anything, but then she looks across at Mama. Thank you, she says. We will come. Mama smiles. I reach out and stroke Mrs. Kim's big old orange cat too. Can you hear him, Mrs. Kim? I ask. He's purring, which means he likes it. And the last picture is just the two cats. Wow, my ideas about this story really did change throughout this story. So, I'm going to show you guys something. At first, I thought that this was going to be a story about a boy observing a fire where firemen and firewomen come and put it out. But now I'm thinking the author had a bigger message for us, because at the end of the story, they decided that the cats didn't dislike each other. They just didn't take the time to get to know each other. And then Mama invites Mrs. Kim over to spend more time together when they go back to the apartment, which tells me that Mama and Mrs. Kim didn't ever dislike each other. They just didn't take the time to get to know each other. Maybe because they lived a different way or they looked different. And so even though this story is about firefighters who helped at a smoky night, the message that the author was sending us was bigger. And maybe now I'm thinking it's very different than I thought it was going to be. Because now I'm thinking that this is a story about how two things that are different can still end up finding something that's similar and being friends. So it was so great to get to read Smoky Night with you. Let's continue reading stories where our thinking can change.